The best kiss moments of my life have been recorded, reviewed, and rated by me. Being a kissing expert mixes well with the bachelor lifestyle, I gotta admit. My name's Luke. I'm 26, and while a lot of my buddies were settling down and starting families, I was rolling strong and staying single. I didn't usually see a girl for more than 3 dates before I was on to the next one. My adventures in dating eventually led me to writing a pretty popular blog. It started as a diary, but when I published a couple of the reviews online, I started getting a ton of readers, and people were pretty interested. Some people think that I'm a little preoccupied with kissing, and I'm missing the whole point of a date. But these same people forget that the success or failure of a date, especially the first date, is hinged upon its kiss. The goodnight kiss tells you everything. So say what you will, but I decided to wait for the perfect kiss before I bothered getting serious. Right now, the highest rating anybody got was a 9.2, but I was looking for near perfect. In the meantime, there were plenty of fish in the sea to test out. My obsession with kissing started back before Becca, before I'd kissed anyone. I didn't really think about it until some of my buddies were bragging about necking in the back seat, and I was the only guy who hadn't kissed a girl yet. I didn't like being the butt of anyone's joke. So, I was hanging out with the guys less and spending time with Becca more. We were just friends that had known each other for years. We had the same taste in cheesy monster movies and old jazz composers, and I liked myself around her. One time, I opened up about my kissing dilemma, and she was real chill about it. She just said she'd kissed a few guys, and it was no big deal. You can kiss me if you want. I spit out my soda when she suggested it, but then I froze. It was like somebody put superglue along my lips because I simply couldn't open them to save my life. And then Becca took the lead, and we kissed. I wish I could say there was this big explosion of fireworks or the kiss cued some soundtrack in my head, but it was just a kiss. It felt no different than when I practiced by myself at home. I felt a wave of relief, but the next day at school, something strange happened. A lot of girls were looking at me weird, and some of them would snicker or whisper to each other if I walked by. I kept thinking my fly was undone or somebody stuck a sign on my back or something. Not so. Rumor had it, I was an awesome kisser. Word got around from Becca, and I was getting invited to parties, and popular girls would flirt with me. I was puckering up to all the girls now, and I discovered my secret talent for kissing, which made me pretty popular with the ladies. That was about the time I decided to start a kissing diary for all my memories and reviews. Almost every date I'd go on would end in a kiss goodnight. And afterwards, when I'd get home, I'd make all kinds of notes. I reviewed my best kiss moments regularly, and I developed a system to review them. I talked about initiating, moisture, eye contact, you name it. I put together a rating rubric for myself. Not only was this great content for my blog, but it helped me on my quest to find the perfect kiss and the perfect girl. Don't get me wrong, I love the bachelor life, but I wondered what it would be like to have somebody special in my life. But whoever I ended up committing to would be the only person I'd be kissing. So I wanted to make sure to find somebody who was as skilled as I was. Reviewing my blog, I found some good prospects, but the best kisser was 0.3 marks behind my expectation. I wrote about this on my blog, and some of my readers hated it. They assaulted me with comments, saying I shouldn't be rating people's kisses or looking at people like they're numbers. Soon, my readers were demanding a kissing experiment where I would be rated using my own method. It was an interesting prospect. There would be 3 judges who would kiss me, and they'd all rate me independently. And then they'd take the average of the scores for my official score. An opportunity to smooch with 3 lovely ladies sounded like a great afternoon. Plus, I had something to prove now, so I was ready to smooch it up. They decided to call it the kissing experiment, and a small crew was gathering to make it happen. They picked volunteers from my reader fan base. There were 3 women, and there were 2 men added as decoy kissers. We were all blindfolded, so the girls didn't know who they were kissing. That way, my score would remain objective. The blindfold was odd at first, but I got used to it. My first partners were pretty good kissers, but the third kisser was amazing. It was like I was in another dimension. It hit me like a tidal wave of love and perfection. It was gentle and tender, but passionate, with a zest of playfulness. Her kiss caught me off guard, and I didn't want it to end, but soon the director was calling cut, and they split us up. I felt dizzy, but excited. My heart was pounding, and I realized I was falling in love. I couldn't get over how perfect everything was. Finally, I found the one. I wondered what she would be like. I imagined us growing close, getting married and settling down. I even pictured us starting our own perfect family. But I couldn't learn my love's name or see her face until they shot the second part of the documentary. I didn't go on any dates or kiss anybody else, waiting patiently. After about a week, I got the call. They were ready. They brought the girls in on the couch one at a time. The first 2 girls were nice, and as I recall, their kisses were decent. But when the third girl came out, I was beside myself. It was Becca, my first kiss and friend from high school. She revealed she had been following my blog for years, since I first started it. She said she couldn't pass up the opportunity to reignite when she heard about the experiment. My heart was bursting, and I gave her the flowers, and I told her how surprised and happy I was. She was caught off guard by my love bombing, but I told her that her kiss was the greatest kiss I'd ever had, better than I thought a kiss could be. She said she was flattered, but she seemed cold, too. Unlike her perfect kiss, which warmed me down to my toes and gave me hope that I finally found who I was looking for. Well, that documentary director kept interrupting our reunion, and he said it was time to reveal my scores. He started with Becca's, and I about fell over when he said the score was a 6. What a miserable, lousy, average score. I wasn't a 6. I was the golden-lipped kissing prodigy. Your kiss was better in high school, Becca said. Suddenly, all my best kiss moments were blurring together. I was afraid maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was. And I began questioning Becca like I was the Spanish Inquisition. What's the difference, I asked. She said my kisses were aggressive. Before, I was gentle and unassuming, but now I was a cocky kisser. She said it was a turnoff. The other girls rated me higher, but I was stuck on Becca's disappointment. She told the cameras that she fell in love with me after our first kiss in high school, but I didn't want anything to do with her then. After the taping, I stopped Becca and asked if she wanted to catch up away from the cameras. She wasn't sure at first, but she agreed to have a cup of coffee with me. I was trying to explain that I didn't mean to ignore her back in high school. Now that we've both realized our love, we couldn't waste another minute. I was imploring her to give in to passions, but she didn't want any of it. It's been over 10 years, she said. The passion burned out long ago. I said I would adjust my kissing technique. I said that we could plan the perfect kiss together, but it was no use. Becca only got angrier. How could you be so dense? The reason we had an amazing kiss was because we knew each other. We had a bond, she said. I hadn't thought about it like that, but the whole thing was pretty obvious to Becca. Apparently, she had been the biggest critic of my blog, and she was the main person assaulting me with comments and criticisms. Rating people isn't really nice, she said, and she left, refusing to listen to me anymore. I thought about what she said, and I didn't want to admit it, but maybe I was missing the point. There's this saying that has really grown on me. Don't miss the forest for the trees. I got so hung up on kissing as the ultimate test for chemistry that I missed out on everything else. A person is more than their kiss, and I guess it took me a while to learn that lesson. I wanted to let Becca know that I finally figured it out. I apologized for being the biggest bonehead when it comes to relationships. She didn't exactly understand, but she accepted my apology. I told her I wanted to catch up, but this time as friends. Just friends. Like it was before all the kissing. Becca agreed to starting over as friends. And it'll be good to have someone in my life who can help me see things a little more clearly. Have you ever missed the big picture? Tell us about it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.